how your breast cancer can save my life, I know you're looking at the title like, what is this lady really talking about? First of all, I want to say happy holidays. I hope that everyone had a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. It is the day after Thanksgiving. I have a little bit of background noise, the fan, to kind of give us a little bit of white noise. Let me know what you think of it. I'm also at my mother's house, so it's a different surrounding. You might hear some birds in the background. Girl, child, you might hear anything in the background. But anyway, how can my breast cancer save your life? That's a pretty huge claim. First of all, let's talk about how breast cancer saves my life. But before we get to that, I think we should do like a little bit of a story time to understand how breast cancer even entered my life in the first place. So we all know that at around 40 is when they recommend that we start getting mammograms to screen for breast cancer. And I am, like a lot of people, that's a little bit intimidating. I didn't want to get a mammogram, but in life we know we can't do the things that we want to do. We have to do the things that we need to do. It's called adulting, right? And I apologize for not having my microphone. I'm a little ill prepared, but I just wanted to do this video. But anyway, so I got my mammogram probably at age 43, so I was late on getting my mammogram. And if you're like me, you know that there are some people who say, if I have anything, I don't want to know. I'm not interested in knowing. Excuse me for a second. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Had to take a little bit of a break. I don't want to know. And then some people are very suspicious of doctors in the medical community, and rightfully so. They say once you go to the doctor, they're going to always tell you something. They're going to always have a diagnosis for you. They're going to always tell you something wrong. So I got my very first mammogram. They did the mammogram, and then it came back. They said, oh, it's probably the machine. So no worries. We're going to do another mammogram, and we will take it from there. And so my breast cancer diagnosis came from my very first mammogram. I didn't have any lumps. It was a stage 0, grade 0 breast cancer that was at a microscopic level. So I went through all the ultrasounds. I went through all of the biopsies. I had a lumpectomy in my right breast. My doctor wanted to perform a lumpectomy, which is where they take some of the tissue. They saw that it looked suspicious. They didn't like the way that the cells, I guess, looked under the microscope. So they decided they wanted to remove this breast tissue from my breast. And I had to take a week off from work. The day before I was scheduled to go back to work, my oncologist called, who performed the lumpectomy, to notify me that I had low-grade breast cancer. It was just a phone call, and she scheduled me to come in to discuss it in more detail. And she was very, very detailed. I had a wonderful team. And so she told me that I had low-grade breast cancer, and I had to go to work the next day. I got up, I got cute, I put on a cute shirt, I put on my makeup, and I took myself to work because I gave it to God. And I said, you told me that I don't have to handle anything like this, so I am not going to handle anything like this. So I'm going to look down at my notes. I tried to act like that I don't look at notes, but I really want to remember everything, but I can't, so I'm going to be looking down at the notes, so bear with me here. So if you're anything like me, what type of reaction would anyone have in that situation? I was frustrated. I'm not here to say
that, oh, I got breast cancer and I was just skipping through the daisies. No. I was frustrated. I wouldn't say I was angry. I was sad. I was confused. So I had to go through all of those emotions, but I also had to give it to God. Now, I'm not here to be a Bible thumper. I am unapologetically a Christian, but I want you to take these concepts as symbols and apply them to your life. So the first concept is we have to believe in something greater than us. And I'm not going to go in order here. It's going to be a little bit back and forth. But the first concept is of how breast cancer saved my life and how my breast cancer can save your life is you have to believe in something greater than you. In spite of all of our efforts, in spite of everything that we think that we are doing right, our efforts are not enough. There is something greater than us in this world that controls the world. In the 12 steps, they have this prayer called the Serenity Prayer. And I quote it to my clients a lot. It is, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So we have to understand that we don't have control over everything. And that's very limiting, but it's also powerful because we don't have to. So I had to believe in something much greater than me in order to endure it. My family had a really, really hard time. My family and friends, some of them had a really hard time with dealing with my breast cancer. My mother told me, my mother is a first lady, my father is a pastor and a bishop, and so yes, I'm a PK. My mother said what helped her throughout this in dealing with my breast cancer was, she always said, we do the possible and God does the impossible. So you do everything that you can and then you give the rest to whatever higher power you believe in. Another thing I want us to do is, because I understand that everybody is not going to relate to the breast cancer thing. And let me tell you something. Breast cancer is not something that I want you to be able to relate to. Now, if we have to relate to it as far as we get breast cancer, we're going to deal with that, okay? We're going to deal with breast cancer. Breast cancer is not going to deal with us. We are going to deal with it. But it's not something that I want you to have to deal with. So breast cancer is a symbol. And it's a symbol of something that will knock you off your feet. Your wake-up call. What calls your attention to the way that you're living your life as far as your self-care or your lack of self-care. It is what is saying, okay, you know what? I have to do something. I have to do something differently than what I'm doing, because the way that I'm taking care of myself or the way that I am not taking care of myself is not acceptable, and I'm not going to live a long life if I don't take care of myself eventually. And then I want you to think about what message it sends to you. So whatever your wake-up call is it the lack of satisfaction in your relationship, or is it you got a poor review at work, or you're not sleeping well, or you went to the doctor and the doctor is like, look, you're going to have diabetes, you're going to have hypertension. Is it a medical condition? Do you feel spiritually disconnected? So I want you to think of what your wake-up call is and what message is it sending you. So breast cancer sent me the message, a very strong message, which is, if you don't want to die, you better get up and you better live. So that's the message. So we have to think of the symbolism of the breast cancer and the message of the breast cancer. That is what I want for us to learn today, is that it's not about necessarily the breast cancer. That was my lesson So I want to take my lesson and the skills that I learned from my lesson to help you to save your life in the way that this lesson saved mine. So the first lesson is, it's something greater than us out here, and that is what we have to believe in. Okay, so that is, we have to believe in something greater than us. That is number one. Okay, so number two is your mindset matters. Your mindset really does matter. I believe that my mindset saved my life, because in life, it's not necessarily about the things that happen to us. Now, that's not to say that there are not some horrible, catastrophic, terrible things that are going to happen to us in life, because there are. But it's our perception of those things. It's our stance towards those things. It is how we speak about those things that is the difference between success and failure. They say life and death lies in the power of the tongue, so it is how we speak about those things. It's what we believe about those things that determine whether we're going to live or whether we're going to die. And I didn't speak death over my life. I spoke life over my life. I spoke life into the situation. In every crisis, there is an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to develop. So I spoke life into my situation. I immersed myself in my spirituality. And like I said in the first point, I gave it to God. And I also spoke positivity over my situation. I instilled humor in my situation. Sometimes I would go to my doctor's appointments and you would think it was a comedy show, because I couldn't go through that situation hum and drum and just despondent. That is not the definition of faith. If I believe I'm living a life of faith and I have called myself a Christian, then I am called to speak life into situations. And even if you're not a Christian, we have to speak positivity over our situation. Does it change the situation? No, but the way that we view the situation can change the direction of our situation. So speak positivity over that situation. And don't judge yourself, because we're going to have days where we can't speak positivity over our situation. We might have days where we are feeling despondent, we're feeling depressed, and we feel sad, and we have to be gracious towards ourselves when we feel that. But we can't just speak death into our situations and expect life in it at the same time. We have to speak it even before we see it. We have to speak it so that we'll believe it. So we have to speak positive words over our situation. So that is the second point, is to speak life. And that our mindset does matter. Okay? Number 3 is take care of your body. You know, our body has we have different aspects of our body. We have the mental, the physical, the spiritual, the emotional, and we can get into that in another segment if that's what we choose to do. But take care of your body. I remember I told my brother that I had breast cancer, and he had a difficult time because I was the health nut in the family. I'm the health nut in the family. You know, I'm the one that's always telling people, go to the health food store, take this, take that. Not to say that I don't believe in traditional medicine, but I also believe in alternative medicine as a supplement. So when he found out like that the gym rat, the health nut, the one that get on everybody's nerves, telling them to take this and eat this and don't eat that, and what type of blood diet, you know, we gonna be on today. He could not believe that of everybody in the family, the health nut, had breast cancer. And that's just to say, you have to take care of your body because, we don't know what battle our body is fighting. Our body fights silent battles all of the time. And so we have to take care of our body. So I know a lot of people who don't enjoy working out. I enjoy working out, so I don't relate to not enjoying the working out, although I do have days where I don't. But sometimes the very thing that we don't want to do is the thing that we have to do. So we can't always eat the heroes. We can't always eat, I'm a Chipotle freak. I need to leave Chipotle alone. We're going to break up. But anyway, we can't always eat the things that we want to eat. That means we have to push the water. We have to have some activity. I'm not saying you have to go into the gym. I'm just saying that we have to move our bodies. They say a body at rest stays at rest, and a body in motion stays in motion. So we have to do the things to take care of our body from a spiritual standpoint. Whatever your higher power is, or whatever that is, we have to connect with that emotionally. We have to let some things go. We have to address whatever it is that is holding us down emotionally, psychologically. So we have to take care of our bodies because we want our bodies to be here. We want our bodies to be healthy. We ask our bodies to do a lot of things every day, even just getting up and walking and doing the daily functions of life. We ask our body to do a lot. And so when you ask a lot, you have to give a lot. So that means you have to take care of your body because you don't know. I believe that if I was not taking care of my body in the physical and emotional way that I was when I was diagnosed with cancer, that my diagnosis would be further along and it would be worse. So it is very important for us to take care of our bodies. So get up and take that walk. Steam that broccoli. You know, we can't eat French fries all the time. And that's not to say we can't treat ourselves, but we have to be better to our bodies because I promise you, your body will be fighting something and there will be no signs of it. Like I told you in part one, I'm sorry. I had no lumps, I had nothing. Everything was at a microscopic level. So take care of that body because you don't know what silent battles it is fighting. So let's get to the final point for today is your surroundings matter. Your circle matters. Your village matter. The people that you have around you matter. They say, show me your friends and I will show you who you are. So we have to be careful about the types of energies that we allow into our space. Me personally, and this doing this segment helped me to realize about my circle. And what I have realized is that I am a Christian, and so the majority of my providers, and that's not to say all of them, are Christians, and that has made a huge difference. I'm not here to push Christianity down anybody's throat, but the title of it is How My Breast Cancer Can Save Your Life. So I have to tell you what worked for me so you can take the parts that worked for me and apply them to you. Now, so Christianity doesn't work for everybody, but it might help you to realize what does work and how you can apply it to your life. So my doctor is a Christian. You know, I go to a therapist who is a Christian, and so when I speak to all of these people, they instill that in me. I remember when I went to my doctor's appointment, I was having a hard time at the idea of losing my breast. I ended up having a right breast mastectomy. At the end of it all, they elected to do a right breast mastectomy. My team did. And when I got a second opinion, and I did that, she sat and she talked to me about how God is not invested in my breast, but in my heart. My therapist speaks to me about God. I'm currently in a training class, and they speak about God. I have a mentor. Shout out to Aston CEO, who is my mentor. He doesn't know that, but he's my mentor. And he speaks about that. And so my point is that the people that you surround yourself by have a huge effect on you. So if you are in a relationship that might not be the best relationship, it might be abusive, or it might just not grow you, we have to assess that. Our jobs are relationships. We have to look at our romantic relationships. We have to look at our friendships and realize that who we surround ourselves with matters. I need somebody who's going to pray for me. I need somebody who's going to pray over me. I need you. Well, they say you don't want people who are at the same level as you. You want people who are higher, so you can have something to aspire to. But sometimes we need people who are not at the same level, so we can pull people up as we are being pulled up. But the takeaway is that who and what you surround yourself matters. Okay, so those are the 4 points. This is how breast cancer saved my life, because it gave me a wake-up call of the way that you're taking care of yourself has got to change, because this is going to change your life, and it's changed my life. In some ways it has been a challenge, but in a lot of ways it has been a blessing. So remember the 4 points. Number 1, believe in something greater than you. Number 2, I'm sorry, I had to check my notes again. Number 2, your mindset matters. Number 3, take care of your body. And number 4, be aware of your surroundings. Your surroundings matter. So these are the things that help to literally save my life and are still saving my life through breast cancer. So whatever your wake-up call is, I want you to take the lesson. You know, my wise grandmother says you don't have to touch the stove to know that it's hot. So learn the lesson from my lesson, that it's time to start taking care of your self-care. The time is now. Remember the message. If you don't want to die, you better get up and live. Love you guys. See you next time.